Hello everyone, it's Professor Sadiq Noor, and in this video I am gonna show you and demonstrate to you how to complete MyLab Excel Chapter 2 Cumulative Inline Jewelers. So let's start. As you see that I am already in the canvas where the assignment is located, and then I will scroll until I see Excel Chapter 2 Cumulative Assessment Inline Jewelers for PC and Mac. So I will click it, and then I will click Open Person so I can open the assignment. And then I will click on Continue. And then, as you know from my previous videos, first we have to download the starting materials that we need. And then once you went through the steps and then you completed the steps, then obviously you have to upload your file and submit for grading. So the first thing we have to do, download. So click the button, download materials, and only is two files. One is the Microsoft Word that has the instruction that we have to follow. And then the other file, as you see, is the Excel file that we have to work on it, right? So you can download them individually, or I can download both the file at the same time. So I will click download all files. As you see here, it downloaded and it's showing me that both the file is being downloaded. So I will close the dialog box for download starting material. And then I can close my grader project, my IT. I can close it now for the time being because I don't need it. Once I'm done with the steps, and then I will upload it. I will come back to the assignment. So I will minimize this now for the time being, and then I will go to the download, the yellow folder on my taskbar in your window 11. And then in the left-hand side, you will see download. Click on it, and then you should find out the file you just downloaded. One is a Microsoft Word that has the instruction, and the second one is the Excel file that you need to work on it. So we're gonna open first the Microsoft Word, and then we have to enable editing, all right? And then we will also open the Excel file because somehow in your instruction it's gonna tell to open Excel cumulative inline jewelers Excel file. So I will minimize it and I will open the Excel file. Double click it. It should open in Microsoft Excel. Now, always when you open a file, it's going to be protected. So you have to enable the editing first. Perfect. So I will zoom it. So when I zoomed it, if you look at your cost and all is cutting off, you can just go to the right of the column B and you can double click it. All right, double click it to expand the column B so that you could see the number because the hash or the number sign indicate that the cell is small to hold the values on the cell. So before I will start, I have to demonstrate to you what is what in Excel. So this is your quick access toolbar that has the undo, redo, and the save. The title shows you the name of the file, Excel book. So the Excel file is actually what we call is a workbook. Inside the workbook is worksheets. So that's the worksheet here. You see, You can add as many worksheet you need. So the worksheet consists of columns, as you see the columns here, and then the rows are represented by numbers, as you see here. So always the columns are equal the alphabet, right? The alphabet, whereas the rows are represented by numbers, all right? By numbers. So always when you're gonna read the values, you're gonna read it, the column, then the row, that the value is in that specific cell, right? For example, now, if I read one, this one here, so that means I'm in F, the column is F, and what row? If you look the row here, the row 5. So that will be F5, all right? So the other thing that in most of the Microsoft product, you will see that we have the tabs. These are your tab. This is the tab. The tabs, right? Below the tabs is your ribbon. The ribbon consists of groups, right? So this is what we call the ribbon. The ribbons, right? So the ribbon consists of groups, and the group has names, you see? Name, style, cells, alignment, right? And then when you change the tab, obviously your ribbon is gonna change. So let me show you. When you click insert, the ribbon is gonna change. When you click home, it's gonna change the ribbon with all the commands located on the ribbon, right? So these are all the commands. These are commands, right? So the other important thing in Excel is that the formula bar. The formula bar is this guy here, right? Anything on the cell will be displayed in the formula bar, right? Then you have the FX to insert a function. We have more than 300 plus function in Excel. And then the check sign is if you tap something and you wanna enter that, so you can press or you can go your mouse, you can move your mouse over the check sign, and then that means I wanna enter what I typed. If you don't wanna enter it, then hit X to delete. The next box here is very important. This box here is what we call the name box. We call it the name box. The name box tells us where is my cursor is located on the cell, in what cell is my pointer is, right? So if you look here, it says that A1, right? So A1 means my cursor, my pointer is in here, A1 here, right? So if you move your cursor or your pointer is here, then it's gonna tell us that is L, and then the row is 11, right? So the next thing that we have to be concerned with here is the worksheet tabs. So obviously if you want to add more worksheet, then you have to click on the plus sign to add more in one workbook. So Excel file is a workbook. Then below that is the status bar. It says accessibility is good to go, ready Excel. Then you have the scroll bar to move you to the left, to the right. And if you want to move up or down, you can use the vertical scroll here, right? And then we have the views, normal view. And then we have the different kind of print preview, So these are the different views in Excel. And then this one here is the zoom. If you want to zoom your worksheet, right? So let me show you. For example, this is the normal view. Then this one, obviously, when you move your cursor is the page layout. And then this one is the page break. So most of the time we use the normal view. But when you're gonna indicate the headers and footer in your worksheet, then obviously it's going to change the normal view, your worksheet, right? The other thing here is the zoom. As I was telling you, you can zoom it, you see. You can make it down, see? So you can zoom it down, you can zoom it whatever you want, right? So always when you create a worksheet, you have to give a title to it to tell you what is what, right? So then the next thing that we need to do is we have to go and read the instruction for the assignment. So I open Excel file and let's go to the Microsoft Word and read the instruction one by one. So I will zoom it so you can see well. So the first one is insert a function in cell B2 to display the current date from your system, right? So whatever the date in your computer, in your system, that's what we want to display in the cell B2. So let's go and let's find B and the row 2. So that is this guy here. So we need to put what function we need? We need to display the current date from our system. So to put the date, to use the functions, function is like pre-built, is the function is already defined, right? So we have a sum function, average, count, maximum, minimum. These are all functions, right? So I can use the function from the FX to insert it, or I can go to the formula tab here, and then these are all the functions, see, under the function library, right? So if you want financial, they're going to be here. If you want logical is here. If you want text function here, date and time is here. The lookup, which I'm going to show you today, and then anything about the math is here. And then we have some more function. And if you want to get the stats of something, that's here. Then we have engineering, web, and so on, right? So it's almost like 300 plus function that you can take advantage of in Excel. So Excel is a very powerful spreadsheet software. So we want to get the current date, right? So go back and read. Insert a function in cell B2 to display the current date from your system. So we are in B2, and as I told you, the name box is gonna tell you where you are located right now. So I'm located in B2. So we're gonna go now under formulas, and then you will go to the section that said date and time, and we have to find today. You will click on today, and then you will click OK. Now, because of the cell is too small, I will double click to stretch it, right? So when you stretch it, like you go to the right of the column that you have the hash, or if you don't see the value, you can just go there and double click it, right? When I double clicked it, you see now everything is visible, all right? Everything is visible. We can see it, right? So the next thing, let's go and read the next step. So we're done with step number 2. Step number 3, with the cell B2 selected, set the width of the column B to AutoFit. Remember, I double click to stretch it. So now they said you need to go to column B, and then you have to use the AutoFit. So what you need to do is go back to the home, And because the column B is already been selected, right? So what you need to do is go to the cells on the ribbon under the Home tab. You will see the cell group. Now click on Format and then look for AutoFit column width. As you see a little bit, my cell moved to the left to adjust it. So automatically B column is being adjusted. All right. So step number 3, insert a VLOOKUP function in cell what? In cell 5 to display the ring cost for the first student. The cost of the ring type should be an exact match. Use the appropriate relative and absolute cell references, right? So when you don't want your cell to move, when you copy the formula, then you have to make the cell, that specific cell, to be absolute, right? Absolute means you want to fix it. Whereas by default, Excel cell references are relative to the cell, right? So the VLOOK function in Excel is very, very important. So the VLOOK function searches for a value in a column of a lookup table, and then searches specified number of columns to the right to return the value in the same row. So the VLOOKUP is more widely used than the other lookup function in Excel. All right. So again, the VLOOKUP function searches for a value in a column of a lookup table, and then searches a specified number of columns to the right to return a value in the same row. All right. So in this case, we want to find out the the we want to find that in C5, the cost, right? The cost. And then they already have given us the table. This is the table array, this one here. The ring type and the price of the ring type. So if the cost is silver, then that price will be 400, right? If it's gold, then 550. If it's titanium, will be 700, and platinum will be 750, right? So you can also use the if condition for that to check it, right? But in this case, we're gonna use the VLOOKUP, right? Now to use the VLOOKUP, you will obviously go to the formulas. So first you have to set your cursor on C5 because that's we want to find the cost, right? So what we're going to do now, we have to go to the formula tab, and then we will go to the function category that says lookup and references. And here we have to look for the VLOOKUP. As you see, I saw the VLOOKUP here. So click on it. It's going to open this dialog box, right? To insert the function, the VLOOKUP. So the first thing is they are asking us, what is your lookup value? What you are looking at. So obviously I'm looking at the ring type. You see the B column and the first student 1000. And we are looking, our looking value is B5. So we want to check if it's silver, then what the cost of the silver will be. And if it's gold, then what will be the price, right? The cost. So our lookup will be B5. So you can type B5, or you can point your cursor over the B5, and you see I got the B5, right? And then the next thing here it says the table array. What is your table array, right? What is your table array? So in this exercise, our table array is this, the table type and the cost, right? So you're gonna select A16 all the way to B16, right? Now, when I will copy the formula down, right? If I don't fix this table, what's gonna happen when I copy the formula is gonna go down to the empty space cells, or it's gonna go to this one, right? So we wanna fix this table of array so that when I will copy the formula here for the rest of this student names, so then it's not gonna move down, right? It's gonna stay here, all right? So to do that, you will go back to A16, click A16 again, or you can just press the Fn and F4 to make it absolute, you see? If it doesn't move, you can move your mouse to the beginning of A16 and then hold the Fn and F4 to make it absolute, right? So what you need to do, you have to press the Fn in your laptop, or if your keyboard has Fn key, press. At the same time, you have to press F4 to make your cell to be what? Absolute. Because we want to make it fixed. We want to make it absolute. So to make it absolute, always look for the key Fn. At the same time, while holding the Fn, press F4. All right? So what you're going to notice that the A16 all the way to B19, they will have a dollar sign. So that means you have fixed it, right? So the next thing, it asks you for the column index, how many columns. So in this case, the columns are 2. And then we're gonna go down here, all right? And then we wanna make it to be exact match. You see here it says exact match is equal false. All right, so you will hear we're gonna type false. So that's gonna match our criteria. All right, exactly I want it. So exact should match. All right, so let me go back to what we did here. First, our lookup value is the ring type for the first student 1,000, right? So our lookup value is this. We are looking at this, and then we wanna compare the cost. So then the course is where the course is located. The course is located in a table array that you created here, right? So we're gonna check the silver, what the cost of the silver is, and then what if I see gold, what will be the price of that, right? So the VLOOKUP is gonna look for this table array to find the value against the ring type. Then the column index, this guy here, is the column number in the table array. So how many columns? So 1 and 2, right? So that determines that your table array consists of 2 columns. And then the last attribute, the last box, if you want to get exact, okay, so you have to put the false key, because it is a logical value. To find the closest match in the first column, then it's gonna be true if you want the closest, but we want exact. Exact means you have to put the false here. So as you see here, it says that it's gonna be, the answer will be $400. So let's click OK. Perfect. So if you look here, silver is 400 the cost, and if you look in your table array that you defined, it should give us 400. So that's perfect. It's working. So let's see what is next. Fill the function from cell 5, C5 to the C6 and onward. So we're gonna go back. So remember, you see here I have a small square in the bottom. When you move your cursor, it has to be a teeny plus sign, a black teeny sign. Now hold your left key of your mouse and drag it down to copy the formula. Perfect. All right. Now, if you look at the table here, silver is 400, gold is 550, the titanium is 700, platinum is 750. So the farmer find out the cost of each of these for each of the student. So let's go back to the instruction. So now we are here, number 6 step. Apply accounting number format to the range C5 all the way to C11. So already it's been selected from C5 all the way to C11. We want it to be accounting. So go back to the home tab. You will see the number group on the ribbon. After you click home tab, click the drop down and change it to accounting. Now you get the dollar amount with the values. Perfect. Now let's go and read the next step. Step number 7. We have to use the if function. If is for comparison, to compare. So the instruction says we have to go to use the if condition here. So we're gonna use the if in cell E5 to calculate the total due. So we want to find out what the total due is. If the student has chosen to personalize the ring, right? If you want to personalize the ring, then what will be the additional charges, like the surcharge? In this case, the additional charge, because you modified the ring, right? So it's gonna cost you 5%, which is located in cell B21. That must be added to the cost of the ring. If not, the student only pays the base price, right? So we have to use wherever is the cell is relative or wherever the cell is absolute, we have to also be sure that we put the dollar sign with the cell who are absolute to make it fixed, right? So let's go back and let's find E5, column E and 5. So we want to find the total due. Now, in this case, we want to check the first student, Dawson, and the personalization. If he asks for personalization, then obviously he will have to give the 5%, which is the B21. So we have to multiply whatever the cost 400 is, multiply by the percentage here. So we have to add 1 by 5%, right? So then that will determine. But if it's no, they don't want to personalize the ring, then they will not get this. The surcharge is gonna be whatever the price is. All right. So to use the if condition, we will go back to the first. You have to select the cell E5. That's where the total due is for the student. First, go to formulas, the formula tab, go to function library. This time go to the category that says logical, click it and find the if condition. So it's gonna open this dialog box. So in this case, what is your logical? What you are testing in here? I am testing the personalization or the personalized, which is D5 in this case for the first student. So D5, if is equal, double quotation, yes. If it's yes, if it's true is yes means that the student Dawson, he wants to personalize the ring. Then if it's true, then what? Then whatever the price, which is C5, multiplied, open a parenthesis, 1 plus, and then the 5% surcharge, which is in this case is here. So click on B, column B, 21. All right. So we want to make the B21 to be what? Absolute. So when I will copy that, it's not going to go down to the next cell. It's going to remain fixed on 5%. So to fix it, you will have to press the FN key in your keyboard, in your laptop, and F4 together. You will notice now before the B and before the row number 21, you have a dollar sign. That indicates that the B21 is now an absolute cell. After that, you have to close the parentheses, right? Now, the next thing is, if it's not yes, you see here, if the personalization is false, it's not yes, then what will be if it's not? Means the student, he don't want to personalize the ring. Then obviously what will be the value? Will be as it is, right? So the value will be then C5. All right. Now in this case for Dawson, the amount will be 420. Why? Because he asked for yes. Yes means he wants to personalize the ring. So then he have to pay the 5% surcharge for personalizing the ring, right? So the one that says no, then obviously they are not gonna be charged the 5%. It's gonna be as it is, whatever the price is. So the first one will be 420 because it's yes, right? So click OK. Perfect. Now let's go back to the instruction. Let me move myself up. Now fill the function from cell E5 all the way to E6 and E11. So we have to fill it. We have to copy the formula. So hold the fill handle. That's the fill handle, the small square here. I don't want the white tick plus. I want the teeny one, this one here. All the way down to the right in the bottom. Hold the left key of your mouse and drag it down until E11. Perfect. All right. Perfect. Let's go back and read. Now apply the accounting number format to the range E5 all the way to E11. So we are in step 9 now. So the cell is being selected, the range is being selected. So this is the range. So the range is being selected. So obviously from E5 to E11, it has to be an accounting, right? So go back to the home tab, click the home tab, then go to the number group here, and then go to the drop down and look for accounting. As you see now, the account added the dollar sign at the decimal places. So if you look at the the total due, you see the one with the yes, they've been charged 5%. The one with the no, they had the 550 cost. That's it. No additional charges, right? For the one that says yes, they will be charged 5%. That will be added up to the cost. So let's go and read the next step. So we're done with step number 9. Now, the next is to insert the PMT function. The PMT function is a function to find the monthly payment, right? The monthly payment. So we need to insert the PMT function in a cell G5 to calculate the first external monthly payment using the appropriate relative and absolute cell references. Ensure the result is in positive because when you use the PMT, your value would be in negative. So we have to change the negative to positive, which I'm going to show you, right? So let's do that in G5. So first, what you need to do, move your cursor to G5. So first select the cell G, and row number 5 for the first external Dawson. And then we have to go back to the formulas, the formula tab, and then this time look for financial under the function library. And I will look for PMT, which calculate the payment for a loan based on a constant payment and a constant interest rate. So the PMT calculates the payment for a loan based on a constant payment and a constant interest rate. So we will click on it. It's gonna open the dialog box here. So the PMT actually, it requires you to have what we call the rate, means what the interest rate, and the number of years. The end period is the number of period, like for how many years, like 30 years, 12 years, 60 years, something like that, right? So in this case, the rate is B22. So if you look in your worksheet, the interest rate they have given us here is 3% is the interest rate, which is the B22. So we're gonna use the annual interest rate 3%. So the 3% is in what cell? B22, right? So I clicked on it and you see here it pull up the B22 for the rate. The rate means your interest rate. Now we want to make the interest rate to be absolute. Why? Because when I will copy the formula for the other student, what's going to happen? Excel will assume that if you have used 3%, then there is something below that because of being relative to the cell, right? So we want to make this 3% to remain what? Fixed. So when I copy the formula, it's not going to move down. It's not going to go to the right. It's going to stay here in B22. So to do that, you will have to hold the Fn and then press F4. Fn and then F4 to make it absolute. As you notice that I got the $ B, $22. So the key that you need to remember is Fn. You need the Fn key if you have Fn in your keyboard. At the same time, you have to press F4 to make it absolute, to make the cell absolute. All right. Now, because that will be the monthly payment, right? So whatever the interest rate, we have to divide it by 12 months, all right? 12 months is a year. So 12 months, all right? Then The next thing we want to do is the number of year. So the NPER, which is the number of period, is the total number of payment for the loan, right? So that will be F5. What is F5? F5 is the year. You see the year? So it's only 1 year, right? 1 year multiplied by 12 month, right? By 12 month. Now, what the last box here, PV. PV means the present value. So the PV is the present value, the total amount that a series of future payment is worth now. So in this case, your present value is the total, which is 420. That's what is left now, E5, for the first student Dawson. So click on this one here. Now after that, as you see, the value will be in what? Negative. So let me show you. I will click OK. It's gonna turn in red, right? Now to make it positive, what you need is go back to the formula in the formula bar, like here, in the left of the P, and just add negative. So negative, negative, that will be what? Positive, instead of being in a negative value. Perfect. Now let's go and read. Now, let's say if you want to see what the formula is, one way is just go back to it, and then in the formula bar, you can see it, right? The other way is that you can use the range finder. So if somebody says to you how you get the 3557, so you will double click it. That will tell you what is involved in this formula, right? And then if you wanna delete it, or you don't want, you wanna hide the formula, just press the escape key in your keyboard. Escape, right? To show you the value again. So in this case, I will press the escape key. Now let's go and read again the instruction. Fill the function from the cell G all the way to G11, right? So we have to copy using the fill handle. The fill handle, the small square box in the bottom right. Hold it until you see the tiny plus sign, and hold the left key of your mouse and drag it all the way down until G11. Perfect. Now let's go back. And then it says apply the accounting number format to the range G5 all the way to G11. I am in step number 12, right? So let's go back. Let's go back to the home tab. Once you are in the home tab, go to the formula, go to the number group, and you see it's currency. So we want to change it to what? Accounting. Perfect. Now, if we look at this one is accounting, the data type. This one also is accounting. Perfect, right? It's very easy. So the next, let's go and read what they want us to do next, right? So we will go back to the instruction. Step number 13. Calculate the totals in the cell C12, E12, and G12, right? So we want to find the total here, the total for the total due, and then I want to find the total for the monthly payment, right? So One way is you can just move your cursor in C12 to find the cost total, and then you're gonna go to the group that names editing. You will see the auto sum. You can click the down black arrow and then sum. That's one way. The other way, you can go to the formulas, the formula tab, and then you can click on auto sum. You can click down here. So this one and the one in under the home and under editing is the same thing. So it's either way you like. I will click on auto sum. And now the range has been selected. Is it from C5 all the way to C11? That's perfect. Then press the enter key. So we get 4,400, right? So you can go here. Now, if you want to get the total of two columns simultaneously, instead of going through two times the auto sum, you can select like this, E12, then hold the control key of your keyboard, the control key, and click on G12 to select the two of them, right? And then I will I will go to the formulas, function library, and I will click on auto sum, and then I will sum it. As you see, both is been summed, right? Now the hash I got because the column is too small, so I will double click. I will go to the right and of the E column until you get the two split black arrows, the plus, double click it. So the other way is just you can go individually and go to the formulas and click auto sum, you're done, right? If you want to do multiple column at the same time, you want to find the sum, then select the first one, then hold the control key, select the second one, then release your finger from the control key, and then go to the formulas and then function library, and then click on auto sum. All right. Now let's go and read what next is. So we need to be sure that they are also the data type should be accounting. So select the first one, C12. Let's go back to the home. And then is accounting. Perfect. Let's go to this one. This one is also accounting. And then let's go to this one. This one. So everything is perfect, right? So the next thing now we want to do is let's go and read what is next step. The next step is set 0.3 left and right margins and ensure that the page prints only one page, right? Print only one page. So let's go back to Excel. Now we will go to page layout. Then we will go to the page setup group under the page layout tab. And then click on margins. Then click on custom margins. And then the left and right. So let's go back and read. Left and right margin, they have to be 0.3 inches. So go to the left here, change the 7 to 3, and then the right to 3. All right. Then you have different kinds of options here, sheet, if you wanna. And then the page, be sure the page is portrait, right? And fit it to one page, right? So it's very important that you click on fit it in one page, because the thing is, if it's not fitted in one page, what's gonna happen is that it's gonna break down into a multiple pages, all right? So it's gonna be in what? Multiple pages. So what we wanna do, we have to be sure that it should fit in one page, right? So you can choose fit to one page, right? So it's up to you. Now, and the next is we have to check again and see the preview. You'll go to File, Print, and then be sure that the orientation is portrait, right? So we will see if everything look perfect, and I don't have anything to do in here, so everything look perfect. All right. So now let's go and read the instruction. What is next? The next is save and close the Excel cumulative inline jewelers and exit Excel and submit the file as directed. And the total point it says 100 point. So now I will close the instruction. I'm done with it. Now this one, you will go to the floppy from the quick access toolbar and save it. Save it again. Be sure that you do save it. Now we're gonna close it, and then we're gonna go back to the canvas. We're gonna go back to the assignment. We're gonna find out the assignment, which is this one here. Excel Chapter 2, Cumulative Assessment Inline Jewelers. So you will click on it, and then you will click on Open Person, and then you will say Continue. Now we're done with the first box here because that's the first box was just to download the starting files, the materials. And then we will go to the third box, the one that says upload completed assignment. So when we done with the steps and everything, now let's upload it. So I will click upload. It's gonna pop the download section of your Windows 11. So that's the file here. I will click on it, and then I will say open, and then I will click upload. Kudos, your file has been submitted for grading. Let's see, continue. And here you go. Here you go. I scored 100%. So there is no error, nothing. Now, if you wanna see, or in case that you did wrong, is not 100%. So what you need to do is you will have to go to review. Be sure your pop-ups are on. It's gonna pop in a separate uh, separate browser. And then look here. If I had a problem, it's gonna indicate here in red. It's gonna be red. So the line that I messed up with is gonna be in red. So in my case, I don't have anything here. And as you see, the summary of my score is 100%, right? So I hope that you have followed the steps that I demonstrate to you carefully. And what I want you to do is you need to keep on practicing. Excel is a very nice software. And also, you need to subscribe to my channel. I want you to like my channel. And also, I need you to tell your friends, your family member about my channel. Thank you so much, and I hope that you have learned a lot from this video. And Be blessed. Thank you so much and have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.